All right, welcome to this segment of the Henny and Juice podcast. On this segment, we're going to do NBA award predictions. We're going to start off with the MVP. What do you got, Henny?
Yeah, so the nice thing about doing the awards a little bit in the season is like for a lot of the smaller awards, we kind of like have a little bit to go on at least, which is nice. So especially for like Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player, especially for Most Improved Player, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But so MVP, this was a tough one for me. It's always a tough one for me ahead of the season, especially in this era. I mean, there's just so many good players. So I kind of try to do a little process of elimination, right? So the first guy I wanted to eliminate was Giannis. Not that he won't be like right up there. I'm sure he'll be right up there. I'm sure he'll have all the numbers. But the problem, I think he's going to suffer from like major voter fatigue.
The Jordan syndrome.
Yeah. So I think that's a big problem with Giannis, and it's not a sexy pick, quite honestly, with him winning the last couple. So, and LeBron kind of he was tempting, but like at this point in his career, he almost suffers from like permanent voter fatigue.
Yep.
So, I kind of went through some other guys. I think KD is an okay pick, but now he's hurt. Damian Lillard would be an interesting one. I feel like he's got to get some eventually, but I ended up settling on Luka. He's certainly going to have the numbers, I think, for MVP by the end of the year, even if he's not off to the greatest start. It's not 100%. Even that. It's not even that bad, but like, he'll have the numbers by the end of the year, and I think he's like kind of the media darling right now. I think a lot of people want him to get one soon. So
yeah, I think everybody likes Luka. Like I don't know. I've never talked to a person. I never heard anybody on the media really genuinely trash it.
Yeah.
Although it's like, what would you trash him about? His defense? Like, you're just kind of just nitpicking at that point. Like, I understand defense is important, but what he does for the team, it's like, that would just be stupid. I'm one of those people that truly believes that every single season LeBron is the MVP. Like, I truly, truly believe that. And even last season, I really, really wanted him to win the MVP. Like, I genuinely thought he deserved it because he played defense last year.
Yeah.
Which he hadn't done since Miami, it seems like. Like, genuinely, like, lock up on the defensive end. I thought that he should have won last year, but along those lines, I agree that he has permanent voter fatigue. I think it's going to be Steph. All right, I'm a little bit biased. Steph is my favorite player in the league currently, but the way he's playing right now, that 62-point game, that was ridiculous. 62. He's the second oldest player to ever do that behind Kobe.
Damn.
Which is a crazy stat because he's only 32. You would have thought somebody else had done it at this point, but everybody was super worried about the Warriors, including myself, just a couple of games in. But right now, they got Draymond back. Draymond is not shooting any shots. He's putting up a max 3 a game. 3 field goals a game, which is crazy to even think about. But you can just see the way the offense works. Like, he'll fake it to Steph. Steph will run it back around. He'll cut in. They're cutting again.
Yeah.
Like, the offense is moving in such emotion again, and it's like beautiful to see the way it's just in unity. Mm-hmm. Everything they do is so perfect, and the team is honestly not that talented.
Yeah,
it's good. Like, it's good enough. But if they're gonna make the playoffs in a situation where they're not in the playoff game, like the play-in games, if they make the 4 or 5 seed, like, that's got to be all on Steph's shoulders for the most part. And I think that if they're able to do that and they're able to make it into the playoffs without doing the play-in, Steph is going to win MVP. People love Steph.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about how it kind of got tiring for a little bit, just like with the way the media was. And I think it's starting to come back. I think it's going to come back.
No, it definitely is.
And I just think with all the media hype, the Warriors kind of coming back with nobody knowing what was going to happen, if they are able to kind of continue, and Steph right now is averaging 32 rebounds, or 32.
That'd be crazy.
32 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists on solid field goal percentage numbers.
Yeah. He's going to be in perfect position to put up monster numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's going to be carrying the load, and again, if they can make the playoffs, Steph, to me, is going to win the MVP.
Yeah. All right, so going into Rookie of the Year, this was an interesting one for me because nobody's like got off to a crazy hot start or anything like that. So I kind of went with an interesting pick. I don't know if I'm super sold on it myself, but I went with Tyrese Halliburton of the Kings. He kind of fell in the draft. I think he went like 12th overall.
Yeah, it was because of his jump shot form.
Yeah.
People thought it was bad, but it's translating.
Yeah, but he's been incredibly efficient. That's one of the reasons why I love him so far, and like how like the start he's off to, because he's playing 26 minutes a game and he's only scoring 11 points per game incredibly efficiently. But if he can translate those 26 minutes a game into just more opportunities, and even if his efficiency go down, which it will, I mean, he's not going to stay shooting 52% all season. I mean, I think he has a chance to kind of get it in a weird year where nobody's going to run away with it. So
that actually makes a lot of sense. I honestly didn't consider him too much for the Rookie of the Year. I think I was a little bit too biased with the first 3 overall picks. Just the Kings games I've watched, it seems like he's in the game late. It seems like he's making big shots, and the really cool thing about his shooting form is it's so just down the middle.
Yeah.
Like every single time. That he can shoot these shots from 4 or 5 feet out at the 3-point line because he jumps forward, too, on every single shot. So guys kind of have to stay off of him. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, he's shooting wide open jumpers.
Yeah.
So that field goal percentage is probably going... It's not maybe not. It's not going to stay where it's at.
Yeah.
But I don't see it dipping down too much.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to stay pretty high, I would imagine, with his field goal percentage. And his 3-point percentage is crazy high right now. I think field goal, he's at like 52, and then 3-point percentage, he's like right at about 50. So, I mean, that's crazy efficiency. But go ahead with your pick.
So, for my Rookie of the Year, I'm taking LaMelo Ball. All right. LaMelo has he has problems. All right. I'm not going to shy away from the problems. He's just not physical enough. He doesn't play like he's 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, he's terrible.
Yeah.
But nobody really cares about defense. Like, I don't remember the last Rookie of the Year that was they were talking about his defense.
Yeah.
It's just not the reality anymore. Currently, he's averaging 12, 5, and 5 on about 24 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna keep getting more and more minutes.
Yeah.
Like he's the one rookie out of the top 3 where it's like Wiseman is clearly not the number 1 guy on his team right now.
Mm-hmm.
He could end up developing into the number 2 this season. Yeah. Obviously, when Klay comes back, he's gonna take a step back. Anthony Edwards is playing behind 2 young superstars. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I call D'Lo a superstar. Cat definitely is.
Yeah.
Where they're hungry, right? They still have something to prove.
Oh yeah.
So Anthony Edwards is kind of having to take a backseat to them, and he's been very good.
Yeah, he's scoring points, not much else though. So
yeah, he's been efficient. You know, he's a pretty good defender. But LaMelo, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year based off of opportunity. I think the opportunity is gonna put him. I think it's gonna put him at like 34, 35 minutes. I think those are like what he's gonna be playing towards the end of the season. The Hornets are just. I mean, they're playing decent right now, decent basketball. Like the wins are showing it.
Yeah,
but he's going to end up being the starting point guard. Terry Rozier is very good. But the amount of minutes he's going to be playing and the fact that it is LaMelo Ball's team, whether like Terry Rozier wants to admit it, whether nobody wants to say it, might not be right now, but it is going to be LaMelo Ball's team by game 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just is what it is, and I think he just has the leg up on everybody else to be able to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think they kind of want him to be the star, and he definitely has the persona and ability to be a star. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So next we'll go into Defensive Player of the Year. This was one of the easier ones for me, just because Anthony Davis. A lot of people felt like he got screwed last year, and I don't know. I mean, the ability's obviously there. He's going to be a great defensive player, and I think like the opposite effect of voter fatigue is going to work in his favor. Like it's like I don't know if there's necessarily a word for it, but like opposite of voter fatigue, like he deserves it kind of. So I think he's a pretty easy choice. Not like a lock he's going to win, but that's what I would go with.
For me, I have Giannis winning it twice in a row. The thing with Giannis is I think he's going to benefit from voter fatigue in a way where I just don't think they can possibly give him the MVP again. But I think he and the Bucks are still going to be at such a high level that we got to give this guy something. And Anthony Davis, Giannis, Rudy Gobert, they're all going to be in it. They're all going to be in it, and it's going to depend on that. So I feel like if Giannis plays at an MVP level, and people think he should be the MVP, the voters are basically going to give him the consolation prize of Defensive Player of the Year. And that's kind of the way I see it playing out. The Bucks, I think, are going to dominate in the regular season again. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be one of the top defensive teams in the NBA again. And Giannis is obviously at the forefront of it all. I think that's the way Giannis ends up with MVP or with Defensive Player of the Year is because they're not going to give him the MVP again.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I hadn't even considered that. I think it's also possible like the voter fatigue just works both ways, but like that's an interesting theory. Like it could be a consolation prize, especially if he puts up a monster season again.
Yeah, so. With Anthony Davis, it's it's really wild to see the way they play, though, because I really do like that pick, because with the Lakers, everything they do on defense is trying to lead the guy with the ball to Anthony Davis in the post. Every single thing that they do defensively is trying to get them to Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And that's really, really wild, because the Lakers themselves are individually, obviously, Schroeder's a great defender. LeBron can be a great defender. They are all basically conceding to Anthony Davis, knowing that he is the best defender on the team.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see, and I see absolutely no reason Anthony Davis can't get it.
Yeah. All right, so going into Sixth Man of the Year, this was a tough one for me. I went with Karis LeVert. He's not off to the greatest start, but we know he can put up like some great numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he kind of has a chance to kind of right the wrongs like of these first handful of games with KD out for a little bit. And hopefully he'll get going. And it's another one of those awards. I don't know if I see anybody running away with it. I do like your pick, but I don't know. Karis LeVert could kind of... I think he has a chance, certainly, and he has a good opportunity to get going here. So,
yeah, Karis LeVert's absolutely going to be one of those guys at the top. I mean, he is so good at basketball, and the fact that his numbers are where they are right now and his percentages are where they are, that's not indicative of what the rest of the season is going to look like. I'm almost willing to promise you that. My pick is Eric Gordon. It's crazy that he's on the bench right now. He's playing six man, but I mean, obviously the Rockets, they have James Harden, John Wall. There's no way Eric Gordon starting over either of them. He's really good, but it's not happening. He's too small to play the three. So he's found himself coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And he's just under 20 points a game
off
the bench. And what we've found out in recent years, like even going back to Jamal Crawford, the Sixth Man of the Year award is an award based on who can get the most points off the bench. That's all it is.
They're not looking for anything else.
No defense, no assists, no rebounds. It's not what matters in any way, shape, or form. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is. Eric Gordon doesn't really do any of those things. In a big game, he can come up with some big rebounds. We've seen that. But if you're averaging 20 points a game off the bench on the Rockets, which even with Silas is still like pretty similar to the team they were running last year. Obviously, it's a different team. Yeah. But they're trying to score more points than the other team. That's the goal. It's not necessarily trying to lock up the other team. It's just trying to score more points. And when you're the star off the bench, the guy that they're running the offense through in a system like that, I don't see how Eric Gordon's gonna be able to throw rookie or Sixth Man of the Year. Unless Lou Will just does his thing again. Yeah. Or Karis LeVert. I really like that pick, too.
All right, so for most improved player, this might be the easiest. Yeah, I think we both have the same guy here. Christian Wood of the Houston Rockets. Big man. He's averaging like 23 and 10 right now. I don't know if they played a game tonight and his numbers maybe went down or something, but and last year, well, the thing is he's putting up great numbers, but it's all about like improving from last year. And just from the raw numbers, I think he was at like 13 and 6 last year. I think he caught fire like at the end of last year.
After the All-Star break, which is like a 30-game period, and he was averaging some pretty ridiculous numbers. But I think they're going to go off the complete raw numbers off of last year when they consider the improvement.
Yeah, and then some of the other picks I was looking at, Derek White and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're not off to like... It doesn't look like they're going to build a resume that like fits most improved player. And at this point... It looks like they're going to have a lot of catching up to do to Christian Wood if he's putting up anywhere near 23.
Shai was just too good last year for him to win Most Improved Player this year. Derek White, that's a really interesting one. Yeah. That's honestly one that I didn't even necessarily consider. I mean, he's such a good three-point shooter. He is just such a good three-point shooter. Yeah,
his raw numbers haven't been like... Yeah, that's kind of the thing, though, is like, these guys are really good players, but... It's very clear who's improved the most.
Like 23 and 10. They're not touching that. The only person that I actually saw, and it wasn't either of those two, the one person I saw that could compete with Christian Wood was Julius Randle.
Oh, really?
Julius Randle is putting up some ridiculous numbers right now. Like he's averaging 20, he's averaging 11, and I want to say he's averaging 7 assists right now.
Oh my god.
And Julius Randle plays great defense. Yeah. The part that's not good for him is that he was also the focal point of the Knicks last year, and so I mean he was getting good stats anyways. So it's gonna end up Christian Wood's going to have to take a pretty decent dip down for Julius Randle to win it. But the thing is, it's like we're only a couple of games into the season right now. 23-10 after what he did last year.
Efficient
and he
scorer,
shoots.
too.
I mean, he can shoot the ball really well, too. He can score from all three levels. I don't see Julius Randle being able to catch up, but Julius Randle is just a victim of what he did last year. He improved so much, but I think it's just going to be a victim of what happened last year.
Yeah, it's a word you really need like the right timing on it.
Yeah.
Christian Wood, even though he like caught fire at the end of last year, didn't translate to like total year great stats. And now that's what he's doing. So
yeah, I mean Christian was just in a perfect. He is in a perfect system to succeed. Obviously, again with the fact that they're just trying to score. Fast paced. He's big, but he's really, really fast. He's really agile. He's not a stick. He's running the floor on fast breaks constantly. And that's how he's going to keep getting his buckets. They just play so fast, and he's such a good shooter, and they just don't have a bunch of bigs competing with him. Like he's not going to there's nobody competing for his minutes. Obviously Boogie, but we don't know about Boogie. I mean, I don't see how Christian Wood's going to be able to not win Most Improved Player unless this couple game stretch and even
just like
from the All-Star break is just a fluke.
Yeah.
But I don't see that
Doesn't seem likely. It seems like he's a guy that people are going to have to start getting to know, you know?
Yeah, it seems like people really like him too.
Yeah.
Just from what I heard, like his story is really cool.
Yeah.
The one part is really sad. I don't know if you read it. Like his girlfriend basically left him after he went undrafted. Like she left him right after. So it's like, I don't know. I think he's just kind of the people's champ right now. And I don't see how he's going to be able to not win it. Yeah.
All right. So for the final award, I'm pretty sure it's the final one. Coach of the Year. You want to go first on this one?
Yeah. I'll take this one. I have Steve Kerr as the Coach of the Year. I really don't think people understand that the team is just not that talented. I really don't think people are grasping this. Like Kelly Oubre, he's a good player. He's a solid player. He had some pretty good numbers last year. He can do some good things on the fast break. He's kind of unstoppable one-on-one on the fast break because he just has a bounce. Draymond is not a scorer at all anymore. The offense is crazy. The offense really does run through Draymond, though. I will say that. And that is the one nice thing about the Warriors is Draymond is just so smart. James Wiseman is a really, really good player. Outside of that, it's like, I don't know. That's definitely not like a championship or even really necessarily a playoff supporting cast around Steph.
Yeah.
It's just not that great. And if they're able to make the playoffs, like a lot of the credit has to go to Steve Kerr. A lot of slander has been thrown on Steve Kerr's name. And understandably so, when you're coaching teams that are that talented over and over and over, like how are you not going to win the finals? Yeah. Like you kind of have to throw it away like you did in 2016. Just a bunch of stupid stuff has to happen. I think that Steve Kerr's finally going to get his just due on how good of a coach he really, really is this season when the Warriors make the playoffs. I think he's going to end up winning the award, although your pick is just as good as, if not better than mine.
So the method for determining this one, in my mind, was like, who has the clearest path? And I think Steve Kerr, if it works out the way you think their season will work out, I mean, nobody else is really going to even have a path. Like, if the Warriors end up being that good with this team, nobody's really going to have a path. But my pick was Monty Williams of the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns are off to a good start. They're 5-2 as of right now, and they just have a chance to. I think they have a chance to get like a pretty solid spot in the playoffs, like a pretty good seed when it's all said and done. And that's kind of the route I took. Just pick the guy with the clearest path, and that'll probably be the one that's most likely to get it. Another guy that's like similar in terms of the path is Steve Nash, because the Nets obviously have room to be really good. Yeah. But the problem with Steve Nash is I don't know if he's a good coach. So
yeah, I don't know. I think Steve Nash is going to be fall victim to the fact that he has KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're going to be like, oh my gosh, what he was able to do with this talent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't see how Steve Nash could win it, even if they're like the top seed, which it doesn't look like they're going to be.
Because I think for Steve Nash to win it, the Nets would have to be really good, and he would have to prove himself like separate from that too. Like people would have to think he's one of the reasons why they ended up being really 100%. Good. So that kind of is an extra roadblock. So yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. That's how we see the awards shaking out. Maybe mid-season or so, we'll maybe come out with another version of this. I'm not really sure at this point, but Yeah, I mean that's
Christian Wood will be at 26-12 by then. Yeah. All right.